sexy or sexist?
What is the problem?
With all due respect, I have been sent here for a reason.
The Crew is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Today I'm going to cover 10 shows to watch if you like Netflix's The Crew. Welcome back to Finale, let's get into the video. Number 10, Space Force. In this Netflix series, Steve Carell plays a 4-star general who has been tasked to establish Space Force, the US military's latest agency. What's impressive about this show is that it was released just a few months after the US founded its actual Space Force. As it turns out, that wasn't a coincidence. While speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Carell revealed that they were developing the show simultaneously as the actual Space Force was being created. Just like in The Crew, it's safe to say that these guys are determined to win a race of sorts, although it would involve space.
It is. We're going to eat your guts.
Number 9, Scrubs. Sure, there are more medical dramas being aired today than people could all probably manage to binge watch. For the record though, Scrubs is no medical drama. Instead, it's a workplace comedy set in a fictitious hospital. And much like on Grey's Anatomy, Zach Braff's J.D. Dorian starts out as an intern at the beginning of the series as he tries to learn from doctors around him while flirting with Dr. Elliot Reed. It's a show about a dysfunctional group of workers who seem to find ways to make things work. Nonetheless, along the lines of The Crew.
Of Hippocratic professionalism.
What comes before part B?
Party! Here's Turkish.
Number 8, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In this comedy series, a group of friends decide to run a bar in Philadelphia together, and as fans would note, Kevin and his gang would also like to get together at their favorite bar. Unfortunately, that's not always the best business model to adapt. In fact, the group has made a whole lot of bad decisions over the years.
Why did you get a sex doll of your old roommate?
I was super sad, and you said I needed something Dennis-shaped to fill.
Number 7, Two Broke Girls. Two Broke Girls is a sitcom that aired on CBS. As the title suggests, the show centers on two young women struggling to make ends meet. One of them is Caroline, a former rich girl who loses everything after her father goes to prison. After losing her palatial digs, she moves in with Max. Caroline also ends up working as a waitress at the same diner where Max works. As the series progressed, both women dreamt of a better future.
Here you go, Sophie.
Max, Caroline, about like...
Number 6, 30 Rock. There's really no limit to where one can set a workplace comedy, and in the case of 30 Rock, the show takes on a satirical approach to the television business itself. Here, viewers get to see the inner workings of a sketch comedy show, which is overseen by its head writer, Liz Lehman, and Liz's arrogant boss, Jack Donaghy. Meanwhile, the on-air talent includes Tracy Jordan and Jen Maroney. The show is loosely based on Saturday Night Live, one of the longest-running shows of all time.
Classic Donaghy.
Okay, fine, you got me. Game over.
No.
Number 5, Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation is a workplace comedy that takes place in the confines of the Indiana Parks and Recreation Department. Here, fans come to meet a mid-level bureaucrat named Leslie Knope, who is determined to put up a community park in an abandoned construction site in her town of Pawnee, Indiana. However, the whole endeavor runs into a number of issues, including bureaucratic red tape. Aside from Polar, the cast also includes Nick Offerman, Aziz Ansari, and Rashida Jones.
What are you doing? Cartwheels.
With TV's funny.
Number 4, The Office. An adaptation of a show from the UK, The Office presents a mockumentary of daily working life inside a paper company in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Leading the team is Steve Carell's Michael Scott, the company's regional manager, who seems to care deeply about his employees despite his tendencies to demean them. Not to mention he's also fond of making double entendre statements.
Creed.
Number 3, Superstore. The show looks like the daily working lives of employees at a mega store called Cloud9. We see them go through training sessions and deal with all sorts of difficult customers. It's a good thing the staff includes Jonah, who is forever an optimist. There's also a dedicated floor supervisor, Amy, intercom voice, Garrett, hilarious employee, Sandra, assistant manager, Dina, and store manager, Glenn. Just like Kevin and the gang, they know they're not perfect, but they make it work.
Some moments of beauty in the everyday.
Did you really use the phrase
Number 2, Emily in Paris. This Netflix series isn't as much about Emily moving to Paris as it is about Paris. In some ways, the movie is almost comparable to Catherine, taking over the team and changing the workplace dynamics in The Crew. Although the series is mostly a hit, viewers also point out that Emily in Paris is just too full of stereotypes that Americans have come up with regarding the French.
I didn't know that you had a girlfriend.
Number 1, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor is as much a political satire as it is a workplace comedy. In this new NBC sitcom, Ted Danson stars as the titular character, a retired businessman who ends up running for office and becomes the mayor of Los Angeles. And since he doesn't have any political experience prior to taking his job, he has to rely on his dedicated staff to get things done. That said, they don't all work harmoniously all the time. Just like with Kevin's crew, aside from Danson, the cast also includes Holly Hunter and Bobby Moynihan.
connection. You're a good kid.
You raised Orly right, sir.
This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.